Hi, welcome back to another episode of Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. In this week's video, I'm going to do some stuff probably on the Camera Ladies Roadster. Can't say chassis anymore because it's now a Roadster because the body's on. There's a bunch of little things we still I want to dig through the pile for the parts and start putting some of the stuff back onto the body. If my 1224 taps come in, I might start working on some of the putting the dovetails and stuff back in on the doors. Getting some rubbers in place. I've got to dig out the windshield frame. I don't think I have glass for the windshield frame, so I'm going to have to get that sourced out. Then over in the 33 chassis, we did get some stainless steel flanges come in, so hopefully I can start working on the exhaust on that. And then I guess if none of that materializes, I'll go to work on some of the wood on Ellie's Coupe. But right now, it's any one of those things. So follow along. So today is digging out a few more parts for the Camera Ladies Roadster, some of which I'll put on and some of which we'll put on later. Dug out the radiator there that I bought quite some time ago. Looks like it's going to fit. One thing, the tabs here, they're not wide enough, so I'm probably going to have to weld another piece of aluminum on there to make a mounting tab, so that'll come later. But just want to make sure everything looks good. I may get this radiator pressure tested before I put it on. It looks like one of the cheaper ones that I bought. I thought I'd actually bought a more expensive one off of eBay, but I don't think I did in this particular case, so more to come on that. Then for the windshield frame, I probably mentioned this already. We bought the whole windshield frame from Roadster Supply. Looks great, everything else. Got all of the parts. What I didn't remember is we didn't have glass, so I'm going to have to go out and get a piece of glass cut for that. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong, but it's just something we've got to pick up. Then as well, just going through the parts, we've got the stanchions that I'd stored up here. Again, great quality. I've got all the bolts, but there's a pad that goes between this and the car itself. Either I didn't get them or I can't find them, so I'm going to have to order those up before I put the windshield frame on. Anyway, this is part of what we're going through. I'm just stepping you through some of, I guess, the process of gathering the parts up, and anybody who's done this probably will remember doing it. The rear deck lid I've got in place. I had no reason to think that it would not fit, but before I put it on, I just took some masking tape and I put it all the way along the outside before I put it on. The other thing that I did, and a lot of people do, just for safety's sake, I put a little washer right down there. The bolts come through this way from up underneath. They're like a pin that feeds through. But I put a little washer there just for spacer. When the deck lid goes up and down, it doesn't touch the inside. Everything is good, but that spacer there will just prevent it from potentially going side to side and touching anything. Another thing I had realized, but I didn't have, there's little bumpers that go in each corner, like where that rubber one is right there. I found a rubber grommet somewheres. Got to buy some of those for when the deck lid comes down and rests on it. In the meantime, I've cut up a piece of rubber tire there, right on the right and right on the left, so that when the deck lid goes down, it is going to rest on the rubber instead of anything else. So in the meantime, have to order that stuff up too. Bunch of other little things. As I get them, we'll put them on. We'll show you the assembly process and step you through the stops and starts and everything else as we get the Camera Ladies Roadster further along in the assembly. Now, a few more things for the Camera Ladies Roadster. We're going to clean up and put a coat of paint on. These are the door latch mechanisms. This is the deck lid latching mechanism. These are little water catchers. They go at the bottom of the trunk lid. There are rain gutters on the side. What this does, it basically catches the water coming down through the rain gutters. We put a tube on the bottom. We'll run a little hose that goes through to the bottom and out the bottom of the floor. We've covered it before. I've showed them how to make them before. These are ones I made up. But I've got to clean these all up and put a coat of black paint on them. When they're all cleaned up and painted, I will put them on the car. I'll show you how they go on. Other people have done the same thing. I think you can actually buy them, but we made some patterns up to make them on a previous episode. So we'll get this stuff cleaned up, get a coat of black paint onto it, and get it over on the camera lady's car. Then for the 33 chassis right now, I was waiting for some stainless steel flanges to come in. They have come in. We have the exhaust manifolds over on the car with this dummy engine or core engine. I've got to clean up the studs there a little bit, just enough so that I could put the exhaust manifolds on and start fitting the stainless steel exhaust. We've dug out all the bits and pieces that the owner has dropped by. Straight pieces, round pieces, everything else. I'm certainly not going to complete the exhaust on this episode, but what we're going to do, we're going to start from the front and work our way back. We're going to cut some pieces up, and then he wants it actually to run in between the cross member. One of the reasons why he wanted the cross member hollow like this, he doesn't want the exhaust hanging down. So we will run it from the engine up there, straight back and hang it. I am not sure whether the muffler is going to hang here or hang there. There's not a lot of room to exit the exhaust out here. Potentially go through here, go up over the axle and drop down. To be determined. So what we'll do first, we'll get the exhaust going on the engine. We'll get the exhaust manifolds on. We'll start cutting the pieces and we'll start working our way back. And quite possibly maybe putting the muffler in here might be the best idea. We'll see, but we'll work our way through and talk about what we're doing as we're going and show you the progress. Today I decided to work on the stainless steel exhaust system for the 33 chassis. I've done this before on Brenda's Roadster. Stainless steel is better for an exhaust. Have to TIG weld it. I think you can MIG weld it with stainless steel wire and argon gas, but I think it's better to TIG it as far as I know. Still not that great of a TIG welder, but I'm getting by. Sometimes my welds are super good and sometimes they're gonna work at it. But anyways, we had a couple different kits here and different J's and stuff that the customer supplied to me, plus some pieces left over from the last time. Been slowly but surely kind of cutting this up and fitting it over in the chassis. Got some done. Right now I've got one side done here with quite a few joints. But what he wants us to do is actually run through the frame. If I hadn't previously mentioned that, he doesn't want the exhaust hanging down. So up front there, you can see how the exhaust comes down off of the exhaust manifold. So we had to kind of come down, go close to the right-hand side there so that the starter would clear it. I don't have the starter, kind of wish that I did. But I wanted to make sure that there's enough room for the starter and any heavy cables and stuff. So the passenger side exhaust comes straight down, which is kind of convenient. Works out quite well. Over on the driver's side, it came down on a 45-degree angle for some reason or other. So there was an extra joint that I had to put in there. So it actually tipped down there, which is good, I guess, for the steering column. We don't have the steering column here, but I've got this D shaft, so I kind of just hung it there in the way so that I could move the or build the exhaust around where the steering column might be. I'm not sure where the oil filter is on this thing. Hopefully it's nowhere's in the way. I'm gonna have to ask the owner to be sure, but you can see I've polished my welds up. I ground them a little bit, but they're functional. There's no pinholes into them. They don't leak. So the plan right now is to keep on coming along through the frame up to the back, and I think what we want to do is put the mufflers over in this area, or maybe even there in the middle of the frame. But anyways, we're going to plug away at this and keep moving the exhaust further forward. So was picking away at the Camera Ladies Roadster just a little bit, getting out some bits and pieces for the body finishing. Like I mentioned, there's a few things I still have to order, but the stuff that I did have, I thought I'd start putting it on. One of them was the little bumpers here. That way when the door shuts or open and closing it, I'm not going to put metal to metal. Those little bumpers are a little difficult to put in, but the trick is to just get some soap and water or something, and then they should, you can force them into place. If they are too big and the door sticks out too much, what you can do is take them back out, put them on a belt sander, and just take a little bit of rubber off of here. Over time, they will compress a little bit, but if they stick out too much, then don't be afraid to just dress them down just a little bit. So right now that fits. It sticks out a tiny little bit. I probably will, once I get the doors on, I'll probably dress those down a little bit. Then, like I said, I painted the door latches, put the door latches in, got the door handles in. I've got catches here, or I guess you want to call them striker plates, catches, whatever the right term is for them. Right here, they've been trimmed to fit. This was one of the first ones that I did, so I was using nuts and bolts. So what I'm still going to do is go over and get a piece of 3/16 plate, drill 2 holes into it, tap it, and then I'll fit it from behind instead of having to put a nut and a bolt onto it. Then you don't have to put a wrench on the bolt behind. The little plate holds things in place, so I'm going to make those up yet for that. Then around the back, in the box, I had the hold open mechanism and the little bolt. We got that on. We've got the trunk, the trunk latch mechanism in place and the handle in place. Still have to dig out the striker plate that goes here. I made one up for it. Once I find it, we'll put it in place. Like I said, we're going to order some bumpers up for here. So anyways, just when I come over here for parts, I just pick away and do one little thing at a time, and that's how you get it put together, especially when you've got 2 or 3 projects on the go. So that's it for another week at Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm sorry it's a short video this week, but unfortunately I was out of the shop for 4 days. We only worked for 3 days in the shop this week, something didn't plan on, but we got a few things done. We started working on the exhaust system for the 33 Ford chassis. Had the kit here, got the TIG welder out, practicing my TIG welding skills again. I did find a difference between the 2 different stainlesses though. I do have to point out, I'm not sure what it is, whether it's just the thickness or the quality of them, but you kind of have to pay attention to that when you're welding up the exhaust. Some of the I think there's a difference in the thicknesses, but that and my TIG welding skills. But nevertheless, I worked my way through it. We've got some of the more harder parts of the exhaust done. We've got some other stuff left to do and think about. Primarily, actually, where we're going to put the mufflers, whether I put them there. I guess give me feedback. What do you guys think? Should I put the mufflers there by the cross member, or have them hang up here? I'm leaning more towards putting them up here closer to the differential and not actually in the floor. But I've seen it done either way. So let me know what you think about that. Then on the Camera Ladies 32 Ford Roadster, we painted up a few things, got a few more things assembled. They weren't overly difficult things to do, but it actually all adds up to finishing the Roadster. So we're inching it away closer by closer, a little bit by bit, I guess. As I find the stuff over in the garage, I put it on, and some cases it's really simple to put on, and some cases you got to clean it up to put it back on. But anyways, again, sorry for the short week, but that's what it is sometimes. Anyway, come on back next week, see what we're up to. We still have the 33, the 32, and the other 32 that we're working on. There's lots more to do. So please like, share, tag, and subscribe. Send me your comments, and everybody have a great week. Take care.